He opened the wrong room at 3 a.m. The clock ticked past 3 a.m., casting an eerie glow over the hospital room. The young doctor, Dr. James Carter, couldn't shake off this unsettling feeling that he was being watched. He turned to his colleague, Dr. Emily Carter, hoping to see if she shared his unease, but her face was pale and drawn, her eyes wide with fear. "Did you just feel that?" Emily whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the hospital equipment. James shook his head, unsure how to respond. The hair on the back of his neck stood on end, but he forced himself to stay calm. Earlier that evening, they had been called to room 404 for an emergency surgery. A young girl named Lily had been brought in, her life hanging in the balance. As they rushed to save her, they felt the weight of the situation pressing down on them. Every second seemed to stretch on forever, the rhythmic beep of the heart monitor sounding like a ticking time bomb. But they fought valiantly against the odds, their medical expertise and teamwork guiding their every move. Finally, as the first rays of dawn peeked through the windows, they emerged from the operating room victorious. Lily was going to make it. But now, as the quiet hum of the night shift settled around them, they found themselves alone in the dimly lit hallway outside the pediatric ward. It was then that they noticed something peculiar. All the doors leading to the pediatric ward were tightly shut, barring their way back to safety. An uneasy feeling crept over them. They were supposed to have locked the doors before starting the surgery. Now, cut off from the rest of the hospital, they were trapped with whatever was lurking inside those sealed rooms. Heart pounding in his chest, James Carter cautiously reached out to open the nearest door. But as the heavy door swung inward, what he saw made him freeze in his tracks. The room was empty, devoid of any patients. Where were the children? Was this the source of their nightmare? Their eyes scanned the room, trying to pierce the darkness that seemed to have deepened since they had left. Then they noticed something that sent chills down their spines. Each bed was neatly made, the only company being the faint shadows cast by the moonlight. It was as if the children had vanished into thin air, leaving behind an eerie silence that echoed their absence. They continued their eerie trek down the hallway, each creaking step amplifying the silence. Suddenly, a soft whimper broke the quiet, sending shivers down their spines. The sound seemed to come from room 407, the one they had just come from. With a surge of adrenaline, they pushed the door open and stepped inside. To their horror, the room was empty. The IV stands were neatly tucked away, the monitors turned off, and the bed was unmade. Where was Lily? Had she escaped? But that was impossible. The surgery had been so delicate. She wouldn't be able to get out on her own. As they raced against time to find answers, they found themselves in a horrifying game of cat and mouse. They checked all the vital areas, the nursery, the pharmacy, even the morgue. But there was no sign of Lily or any of the other children. Just when their hope began to dwindle, they spotted a tiny shoe in one of the supply closets. Relief washed over them as they realized Lily hadn't wandered off. Someone had taken her. But who? And why? As they delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered a series of strange occurrences that pointed to something sinister lurking within the hospital walls. Medical equipment was found inexplicably moved, charts with patient histories that shouldn't have been tampered with were strewn about, and security cameras mysteriously malfunctioned. It was as if someone or something was deliberately trying to mislead them, toying with their every move. Driven by their determination to find Lily and unravel the truth, the doctors delved deeper into the hospital's digital records. Sifting through countless files, they were looking for any connection, any thread that could lead them to Lily's abductor. Then, hidden amidst routine checkups and discharge summaries, they found it, a single entry that made their blood run cold. A new staff member, a nurse named Rebecca Evans, had joined the hospital just a few weeks ago. Her background and credentials seemed impeccable, but there was something about her file that didn't add up. There was a significant gap in her employment history, a period of time that was unaccounted for. Could she be the one? The thought sent a shiver down their spines. Nurse Evans had quickly become a fixture in the pediatric ward, praised for her attentiveness and care. But now, her friendly demeanor and glowing reviews seemed like a mask, hiding something sinister beneath. Was she really the one who had taken Lily? As they closed in on Nurse Evans, they had to tread carefully. They needed concrete evidence, something that would hold up under scrutiny. They couldn't afford to make a wrong move. With a plan in place, they decided to keep a close eye on Nurse Evans, hoping to catch her off guard. As the days passed, their surveillance yielded results. They witnessed Nurse Evans entering room 404, the same room where Lily had been taken. Their suspicions were high, but they needed more. They set up a discreet camera in the supply closet near the room, determined to uncover the truth once and for all. Then came the breakthrough they had been waiting for. On a seemingly ordinary day, the camera captured Nurse Evans entering the supply closet with a gurney. It was the same gurney used for transporting patients. What was she hiding? As they watched, their worst fears were confirmed. Nurse Evans emerged from the closet, her face pale, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and determination. In her hands was a syringe filled with a clear liquid. She was holding a sedative. Where was she going with it? Why did she look so afraid? In a moment of swift action, the doctors confronted Nurse Evans, their years of medical training helping them to maintain their composure despite the turmoil within. They questioned her, their voices firm yet respectful, seeking answers. But Nurse Evans remained evasive, her eyes darting around the room, her responses fragmented and unclear. It was as if she were trapped in a web of deceit, desperate to break free but unable to do so. Just when the doctors thought they had her cornered, Nurse Evans made a desperate move. She lunged for the syringe, her eyes wild with a manic gleam. In a split-second decision, the doctors reacted, swiftly subduing her to prevent any harm. The struggle was intense, but they managed to overpower her, securing her and ensuring the safety of themselves and the hospital. As the chaos subsided, the gravity of the situation settled upon them. Nurse Evans' erratic behavior had raised more questions than answers. Why was she sedating a patient without proper authorization? And where was the child she had taken? With a sense of urgency, the doctors, along with the help of the security team, searched every nook and cranny of the hospital, desperately seeking any trace of the missing child. Time was of the essence, and they were racing against the clock to find her before it was too late. Finally, in a moment of hope, they found Lily, safe and sound in an abandoned supply closet. Relief washed over them as they rushed to her side, checking for any signs of distress. Lily was unharmed, but her innocence had been stolen. It was a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. As the police arrived, the full weight of Nurse Evans' actions came to light. Her motive, they discovered, was nothing short of horrifying. She had planned to kidnap a child, driven by a twisted desire to fill the void left by her own infertility. In her mind, she had found solace in taking Lily away, believing she could provide the love and care that she herself had been denied. In the aftermath, as justice was served and Nurse Evans faced the consequences of her actions, the doctors were left grappling with the ordeal. They had stared into the abyss of human darkness and emerged shaken but resolute. The ordeal had tested their resilience, but it had also forged an unbreakable bond between them. They had not only saved a life, but had stared into the face of evil and come out stronger on the other side. As the sun rose, casting its golden rays through the hospital windows, it seemed to wash away the shadows of the previous night. The halls, once echoing with fear, now buzzed with the sounds of healing and hope. The doctors, their faces etched with fatigue but their spirits unbroken, walked through the ward, ready to face a new day. The ordeal had been a harrowing one, but they knew that as long as they stood together, they could confront any darkness that dared to cross their path. The story of Dr. James Carter and Dr. Emily Carter became a hushed whisper among the hospital staff, a tale of courage, resilience, and the darkest depths of human nature. It served as a reminder that even in the most sacred of places, where healing and hope intertwined, evil could find a foothold. But it also celebrated the indomitable spirit of those who dared to stand against it.